L'Shana Tova Umetuka. On Sunday, October 8th, less than 24 hours after the largest massacre of Jews since the Holocaust, our sanctuary was filled to the brim as we were able to collectively mourn. We came together as one community. There are many reasons why we may decide on joining Irina, a community. We live in a community so we can inspire each other to hope and build. We live in a community so we can strengthen each other in moments in which we feel defeated. And this past year, a year full of war and strife in the land of Israel, we were able to rely on each other. Beth Or is a community that shows up for one another with the purpose of doing chesed. Chesed, a Hebrew word that is thrown around a lot, like many, doesn't have a precise English definition. Chesed means more than just kindness, and instead is often translated to loving kindness, meaning that one gives themselves fully with both love and compassion. The word chesed is seen all over the place in the Torah, rabbinic literature, and in our liturgy, in order to capture God's kindness and love towards humanity, as well as human kindness and love towards one another. In the Torah alone, the term appears 190 times. If you are looking for a way to pass time next week during Kol Nidre and Yom Kippur services, count how many times the word appears in your machzor. The term involves acts that sustain the other. Our tradition teaches that it is not enough to hold warm thoughts in our hearts for one another or to wish each other well, but instead it's meant to offer real sustenance to one another. Indeed, because of our collective history, we should be conditioned to hear the cry of the downtrodden, but sometimes we don't internalize or act on what we're hearing. My charge for all of us this morning is to follow up with someone upon hearing their cry for help. More than, quote, a nice thing to do, chesed is a foundational principle of Jewish life. Our tradition teaches that when Rabbi Yehoshua was escaping the burning temple, he lamented the following words: "How will we sacrifice now to atone our sins of Israel?" To comfort him in his grief, Rabbi Yochanan replied, "Do not fear. We have another form of atonement that is just as effective." "What is it?" he asked. Chesed, acts of profound loving kindness. I, God, desire chesed and not sacrifice. What blows me away is how Rabbi Yochanan responded to one of the largest crises of his time. During a time of complete upheaval, in which the way Judaism was known and practiced was completely flipped on its head, Rabbi Yochanan is amazingly able to replace what was lost, what will never be the same again, the temple and all of its sacrificing, with chesed, or loving kindness. This moment marks an astounding reordering of priorities. Everything is intended to revolve around chesed. Rabbi Steve Wernick, former CEO of the USCJ, a large umbrella organization in the conservative movement, teaches that rather than offering sacrifices to God in the temple in Jerusalem, to fulfill our Jewish duties, the priority shifts to how we behave in private and public toward each other. There is a common consensus in many of our rabbinic texts that loving kindness becomes the foundation of Jewish practice. We read in the Talmud that when Hillel was asked to teach Torah on one foot, his response, "Do not do unto others as you would not have them do unto you. The rest is all commentary. Go out and learn." In other words, the purpose of studying Torah and fulfilling mitzvot is to learn to do the acts of chesed. Chesed is additionally used as a tool for reconciliation. After Moses smashed the Ten Commandments following the golden calf episode, God asks Moses to replace them. When Moses climbs Mount Sinai with the new tablets, God joins him and makes a speech that contains the 13 attributes, a sign that God had forgiven Moses and the Israelites for the mistakes they had made up to this point. Moses responded by further pleading for mercy, and God promised to protect and perform more miracles for the people. Attributes like vechanun, gracious, or erech apayim, slow to anger, are included, but 2 of the 13 are related to chesed, chesed v'rav chesed, abundant kindness, and notzer chesed le'alfim, preserver of kindness for the 1000th generation. These words flood our Slichot and Yom Kippur liturgy and are intended to be guiding values, a way to emulate God. To me, what is most remarkable about this passage is its emphasis on what is ethical and just. God is not only described as holy or commanding or jealous or wrathful, but first and foremost, God is described as ethical. God is kind towards those who lack merits and remembers the deeds of the righteous for the benefit of their less virtuous generation of offspring. Here at Beth Or, chesed is a top priority. Caring congregants, spearheaded by the awe-inspiring Ellen Werther, is here in order to help members of our congregation in need by delivering meals, providing crisis management, and transportation to appointments. This morning, I want to be bold and proclaim that caring congregants should not be something that you opt into, but instead, all of us should aspire to be caring congregants. I'm proud this morning to share a new initiative that brings holiday meals to those in our community that are going through something. This project, that's spearheaded by Toby Sterling and Beth Rabinowitz, has involved many generations and, God willing, will have a significant impact. Our 7th and 8th graders were responsible for making over 40 servings of matzo ball soup, and this past Sunday and Monday, we had 50 congregants assist in making 60 meals composed of brisket, chicken, kugel, a vegetable, homemade challah, and a dessert. Getting a little hungry right now. On Wednesday afternoon, during early dismissal in our preschool, we had 12 families volunteer to make deliveries to over 50 recipients. The remaining meals were frozen for future use. It was really a magical morning in which we were all able to come together for a common purpose. Last October, I found myself in great need. Just a week after October 7th, I gave birth to my daughter, Rena. My closest family members were 400 miles away. My husband and I had just completed a cross-country move, and on top of this, I was simultaneously trying to navigate my first year in the rabbinate. To say that life felt a tiny bit overwhelming would be an understatement. Thanks to an incredible idea called Meal Train, beloved friends organized meal for us so we at least had one item off of our to-do list. Congregants who I had literally met months prior brought us dinner, cupcakes, food delivery gift cards, diapers, gifts, you name it. I did then and continue to feel unbelievably cared for. This past year has taught me that whether or not we would like to admit it, we either will or have needed help in some area of our lives, and we are all blessed to be a part of a community of people that can help us. Author of Judaism is About Love in the Heart of Torah, Rabbi Shai Held, is particularly adept at using Judaism to lead a more meaningful and moral life. He teaches that, quote, religion is about many things. One of them is to surrender the illusion of self-sufficiency, because we are human and therefore embodied and fragile. The question is ultimately not whether we will be dependent, but on whom. The Torah is a story about leaving destructive dependency on Pharaoh and discovering life-affirming dependency as a radical alternative. Dependency is an irreducible part of the human condition and should be embraced as such. There is courage and there is dignity in learning to say the words, "I need you." We live in a busy world where we all have so many things that compete for our time and our energy. Yet I hope that in the new year, in addition to caring for our families and our friends, may caring for the downtrodden also be on that list. May we continue to use our collective strength during times of uncertainty to support, uplift, and strengthen each other so that together we can resist despair and keep working towards a better world. If you are questioning whether you should make that Shiva visit, attend that funeral, or reach out to someone in need, do it. Your presence is a gift. If you are that person in need, take care of yourself by asking for help. Cast away your shame. Call Rabbi Bonder or myself and simply say the words, "I need you." Let your community step up for you. Communities are meant to care for one another. Each and every one of you matters. Yes, including you. Join us on October 7th at 6 p.m. as together we remember and lament the atrocious attack on Israel. Donate blood on October 27th to assist in alleviating the critical need. May we weave a web of connections among us, between us, around us, that bind us more closely together. May we all feel that we belong in this holy community, and may each of us feel cared for. Ken Yehi Ratzon, may this be God's will. L'shana tova u'metuka.